Hi friends, Mindy here. I am back with another video for my 100 days project. This is actually starting with day 26 through 29. I thought I was filming day 25 and I guess I never hit record, so I will insert a picture of that one at the end of this video just so to have it on there. But so this is day 26 and I have pulled out my Big Shot machine here. I'm just running this through. I have this little it's kind of like handmade paper, and it's this honeycomb design, and I'm going to use that to create a little collage with this bee paper here on this card. I have mentioned this before with my 100-day project. I am creating memory decks cards, and my goal in this is I have set a 15-minute timer for myself, and my goal is to use up some of my stash, some just bits and pieces that I have laying around and different things. And so recently I've been reorganizing my craft area, and I came across a bunch of these little handmade papers, that yellow paper. And so I wanted to just kind of use that. And then I had this little scrap of bee paper. I'm not even really sure where this came from, this paper. I think it might be Vicky Bouton paper, but I'm not 100% sure. But I just love the little bees on it. So I'm positioning it so that I have both of those bees showing on here. And the card that I'm using is one that when I created the master board for all of these cards, I will link the playlist for these videos down below. But so I already have a background in place. I'm just now creating this little focal point on top. And so because of the way that this die cut worked, I had the honeycomb part, and then I also had all of the little hexagons. So I am now just kind of taking the little hexagon pieces and I'm kind of just gluing them randomly around just to add a little bit more interest and spread that color all the way across the card. So I'm just using some Barely Arts Precision glue for this part, and then just gluing everything down. And now I'm going to go around the outside with some archival ink in black soot. This is the Distress archival ink. I really like this one because the black is really black, and so I needed to just glue that down a little bit. So that's why I'm using the archival. Anyway, it's just a darker black, but I'm also just going to quickly write the number on the back of the card, and I wasn't sure how much time I had left, so I have this really light gray Tombow, and I was just kind of adding some shading to the honeycomb, and I noticed that when I was doing this, when it got up on this paper, it kind of helped shade the paper a little bit, like the paper absorbed the ink from this marker in a really weird but kind of interesting way. So you can see me kind of going back around everything now, and this just adds some shading and some dimension without being like super dark. I didn't want to I had thought about going in there with a black pen, but I thought that might just be a little too much. So I'm just kind of going around quickly and trying to get as much of this shaded as I can within my little 15-minute time frame here. And that is basically it for day 26. Day 27, I'm just kind of going through here and pulling out some things. I have this little pile of scraps kind of sitting on my desk, and I'm just pulling out different things. Again, these are just pieces of paper that I have found, different little, like from leftover projects and that kind of stuff. So I have this paper that I came across that the piece on the right was done with like distress inks, I think, and then the one on the left is actually like a handmade paper that I got at an art supply store near where I live. And so I'm very protective of that. So I kind of like save all of the little bits of that because I want to try to use that whenever I can. It's really beautiful paper in person. There's like gold running through it, and I just really love the handmade like mulberry paper. It's so beautiful. So anyway, I just glued those two down. I thought I was going to use that little piece of tissue, but I ended up just doing these two pieces here. And because this background is really busy, everything else I'm going to keep kind of simple. So I have these little word definition cards. This is something I ordered online. So I'm just going to pull out this one. I was looking for one that said beauty, but this is actually beautiful, which is fine. I'm just going to use some archival ink. This is the Distress Archival and Vintage Photo to go around the edges of that. And then I thought it would be fun to add a couple butterflies. These are Tim Holtz butterflies. These were given to me at a retreat last year, and so I'm trying not to hoard them, but I really love them. So I'm just gonna kind of create a little focal point here with this, and then I liked that butterfly off to the side, but I felt like then it made the definition kind of, just kind of floating there by itself. So I'm going to create a little cluster here with some little vintage tags. I had one that said, it says specimen on it, and then I have a little number. Those were pieces from a Tim Holtz ephemera set. I can't remember the name of it. And I'm applying, this is a clear acetate butterfly, so I'm just applied a little bit of Helmar Quick Dry glue, which is a clear glue. And then whenever I'm doing that with acetate, I just kind of smooth it around, and that helps it so that you don't see the line of the glue. Even though it dries clear, you can kind of see where the line is from it. I don't know if that makes sense, but when you kind of smooth it around with your finger, it just helps it so you don't really see that line. So I just created this little cluster here, again, with some little with that definition card, and then some little Tim Holtz pieces, and then I went around the outside and distressed that, and I'm going to use my punch here to make the holes so that this will fit in my Memory Decks box. My Memory Decks box that's sitting over there is from a shop called Precious Memory Boxes on Etsy. I will try to remember to link her shop down below. Bobby gave me that box, and it's beautiful. I have several of her other versions, but this one I love because it's got a little handle on the front. So be sure to check her out if you're looking for a box for your Memory Decks cards. Moving on to this day, this was one I just did a really, really simple card. This time I have this sticker sheet. Again, I've been cleaning and organizing, and I came across the sticker sheet, and I just wanted to use some more of the elements. And so I really wanted to use that little house that was on there, but I'm using a paper that's kind of got a busy background. This is a scrapbooking paper that is made to look like it has chalk on it. And so I was trying to find something that I could kind of, do to ground that. So I'm just pulling out some white scrap paper here, and I'm just going to trim this down, and I'm just going to put this across kind of right above the little notches for the Memory Decks system, and just to kind of ground everything. And then I'm going to basically just use bits and pieces that are on this sticker sheet for the rest of this page. I decided to go with the little house. We're getting ready to remodel our kitchen, and so we've been, you know how you do, where you do all the talking and then dreaming and the, just trying to think of things. It's going to be a little while before we can get started on it, but it just, seeing like the little word strips and everything with that house just made me think of that. And so I put some of these stickers that say, dream big and that kind of thing. And I'm just putting some of those little word phrase stickers down at the bottom. I thought I was going to use this little bird because he was so cute, but it just wouldn't fit on there. And so I'm just now going to go around with my black Sharpie and just create some lines around some of those images for just to bring the black up onto that white paper, just so it wasn't kind of such a stark contrast. And then I wanted some little hearts, but I had used all the hearts on this sticker sheet. So what I did is I took the little, it was like a strawberry, I think, and I just cut out a heart shape out of the strawberry, and I'm going to do the same thing with this little orange. I was trying to just get all of the different colors, so I actually just take a little pair of scissors and cut out 2 little orange hearts out of this actual orange, and then go around them with the black pen just to tie everything together. And that's basically it for this card. So I have these number stickers that I'm trying to use up as well, and I happen to have one for this day. So that was, this is day 28, and that just wrapped up that card. So this is going to be day 29, and I have this little thank you card that came when I, one of my Your Creative Studio boxes a couple months ago, and it has a really pretty quote on it. It's really hard to read, but it's really faint. But I think it's like a Nathaniel Hawthorne quote on there, and so I wanted to save it, and so I thought I would just use it on this card. So I'm just basically going through and collaging on here just some neutral papers. You can see I'm digging back into my little pile of papers back there that I'm trying to use up, and just pulling out different things. I pulled out some music paper. I pulled out some tissue, some book text, some collage papers, just, whatever I could find that I thought would kind of go with this card. And then I glued everything down with a Yoo-hoo glue stick. I'm going around and trimming off the excess, and I'm going to basically leave this card as kind of the focal point of this Memory Dex card. So I wanted to kind of knock everything back just a little bit so it wasn't competing with that card. So I used some of my watered down gesso. I just keep that in a jar. When my gesso got down, almost to the end, I just added some water, and then I just had a wash all the time, so I don't have to constantly mix it. It's just made it a little bit easier. And then, but I had too much water on my paintbrush, so I ended up having to do 2 coats. But anyway, I'm moving on here I'm adding just a little bit of purple. This is with a Distress crayon. There's purple in the wing of that butterfly, and I wanted to add that into the background. So I just applied that directly to a baby wipe, and then applied the baby wipe onto the card, just to get it to blend on there. And now I'm just going around this with some, I can't remember if it's either Vintage Photo or Walnut Stain archival. I think it was Vintage Photo. And just went around that card, the little thank you card with the butterfly, and the actual Memory Dex card. And I tried to add some of this Distress Oxide onto this card, but because it has like a coating on it, it's not glossy, but there's definitely a coating to this paper, so it was not going to hold the distress, and I was kind of running out of time here. So I went ahead and just added some glue and glued this down. I wanted to add something to kind of blend the background in better with that image, so it just didn't seem like I stuck a card on there. And then I remembered that I had these other acetate butterflies. I used butterflies a couple days ago, but anyway, I had these other ones, and this actually came with the kit from Your Creative Studio. So I only have a couple minutes here left at this point, so I'm really, really quickly adding these on with some of that Helmar glue. Again, doing the same thing, just kind of smearing it around, and then I'll add my sticker on the back, and that's pretty much it. So this is day 25, the one that I did not film, and then here's some close-ups of the other cards that I created. So if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. That just helps other people find my channel. And until next time, bye.